Alright, so this is a very important class for all of you. So please pay attention, because we are going to do something in terms of a code trellis, which in a way is a bit tough, but if I explain you the process, it will be not that difficult. But please pay attention to it. But before going to that, so this is where we ended our discussion last day, where we had discussed on different aspects or different performance attributes with respect to convolutional encoding, in which the first thing was the state diagram, something called a state diagram. In that we have found out that how the state table is formed. In that, what we have observed, that when we have a certain input or 1 bit input and there are 2 bits output, then we can, based on the general equation that we can have, which we took as an example like this, we can form a state table which is of this nature, where A, B, C, D are the respective states of different, at different point of time when message is between zeros and ones. Along with that, I think I have gone through something called as code tree, where I told you that this is a basic structure that will be followed overall, where we will start from 0, 0, which is A, and then we'll go up for each time when 0 comes in, and we'll come downward when there is 1 coming in. Based on that, whenever each and every bit is followed, we will go ahead with the code tree, and the corresponding branch weight will be nothing but the output that will be corresponding to that based on the equation that is given. So, it's in light of that, we had come across that for 2 different cases. In first case, we took M as 110, okay. Based on that, we took something as, we found out something like this, okay. And also in the second case, we took 111, and also for that, I think we have come across something of this nature as the red arrow indicates. But 2 things we have not considered in last day's class because of the time constraint and all. Because if you take this into account of M equal to 3 and you go ahead with the process of transform domain approach, you will find that the number of bits or the received bits might not be matching with what we are getting in this case. That is, if suppose I come across 110, there's a 3 bit at a time. So you are supposed to get 110 for that. I think I don't have the calculation here, but if I suppose you follow it based on the polynomial approach, you will get more than 6 bits actually at the end. Ideally, it is calculated by a formula which usually is something like this. N multiplied by L plus M. I think I have not mentioned that. But whatever it is, the process is, it's not that important in this case. The process is where whatever be the number of bits given, okay, what we have not considered is that after the last bit, the position of the register or the content of the register is still there, right? So, there should be at least, in most of the cases, the example that we will take is that it will at least take 2 more steps in order to free the content of the register. What I mean is, suppose I take this as an example, 110. So I go here, okay, I go to B state, that's 1. Then again 1, so we come down and we come to B state, then 0, we are at this position. But at this position, we are supposed to be going through another 2 steps where we will consider the inputs to be 0, 0. Please make a note of it, because this is a standard procedure that we are going to follow. What I mean is, so I'll just follow it up here. Maybe I'll just take a new note and I'll just do that. So, let's take this. So, 110, this was my input. What I'm suggesting is, I'll go this way. This is my A. I'll go down. I'll reach some point here, which ideally was B, I think. It was B. So this state was B. So I reach at this point. Okay. Now again, the demand is the message is 1. So I go down and I reach another state, which we have calculated earlier as D. So we are at this position of D. Now this is, and the corresponding node weight also we can write 1, 1 and 0, 1. So 1, 1, 0, 1. Now at this position 0 comes in. So what will it be? It will go up and it will come to some state, which again we have calculated as C. So this is where we are, and the respective node bit is C. Now what I am suggesting you to do is, after this there should be 2 more steps keeping 00 as input message. So what I will do is, after this I will draw something like this. 0 means go up, so I will go up. So this will be one state, and we don't know about the output. For the timing branch weight we don't know, and again we have to go something like this, and we will come some state as X and Y. For the timing we are just keeping it as X and Y. Now if I go back to the state table, okay, first of all let me just clarify here what we did. There was 3 bit at a time, so we took 3 bit, we went till C. That's what we did on Saturday's class. But the thing is, this is not the end, because the register content is still there. So in order to eliminate that, we have to go 2 steps or 2 more shifts. For that 2 shifts to occur, we will assume that there are 2 more bits which are present over here, as if. So if these 2 steps are there, so what we are going to do is, from C, we are going to some state X and some state Y. This happens for, suppose there are 5 bits. Suppose the message is having 5 bits. So after the 5th bit, you have to go for 6th and the 7th one. Understood? So this is a generic rule you can follow for any of the cases. Now we have to find out what is X and Y. Now if I go back to last day's explanation, you can see why it was 1 1 or 1 0. So this is the state table. Okay. So we were at C. So the content of zeros and 1. So M1, M2 is 0, 1. So if I draw this, M1, M2, and this is my M. Right? So the content of M1 is 1. This is 0. Now something like a 0 is coming over here. This is what is happening. So after one shift, what will be the content of M1? 0, and M2 will be 1. So if that goes, so if you check the state table, M2 contains 0, M1 contains 1, so that is the state B. So basically you are looking at a scenario where this state will be something as a B. Am I clear what I said? First of all, after the bit is completed for the message, we will go for another 2 steps. That's first. Fundamentally, we are going to do that. Along with that, we have to check for the node weight as well as the branch weight. Node weight is this, the state basically. So this was at C. Now if I check the state table that we have defined for the given message, content of M1 was 0, content of M2 is 1. So if I go back here, content of M1 is 1, content of M2 is 0. So this is what the state is. Now the input comes in as if a 0 has come. So after the 0, it will be shifted. So the state will be nothing but M1 will be shifted, M1 will be shifted over here, and 0 will be shifted over here. So that resulted into a state of B. So your new state will be 0 and 1 for M1 and M. So if I check the last step, then again a 0 comes in. So what will it be? So 0 comes in over here. So your next state will be nothing but 0 and 0 of M1 and M. Now 0, 0 corresponds to state A. So basically your Y will be nothing but state A. Clear? So this will be done for all the bits which are coming. And based on that, what I did actually, that forming this, we can have a detailed look at a table, or I think if it is, I can zoom it a bit. If you can track this, the bold line that is indicating on the left hand side figure is the direction in which we are moving. As you can observe that after a certain period, it is repeating, especially the third stage. It's repeating everything. These are all the corresponding state or the output rather, and these are all the states. See here A, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. Now the bold part, if you indicate, what will be the message then? you are basically going down. So this is my 1, this is my 0, and this can be, so this is 1, we are reaching over here, then we are reaching down again, so 1 and again 1, and we have a 0. So till C, the message is actually 1, 1, 0. But as you can observe, the last two states is basically for those 2 bits. Again 0 has come in, so it has come to B, and again a 0 has come in, so it has come down, and it has come to 0, 1, something like this. So basically this graph, or if I just, if I can just look into the portion that is there, so the portion that is highlighted is one which is the code tree for a given message. Okay. Now suppose you are residing on a different manner. For example, your input is 0, 0, 1, 1. Suppose your input message is 0, 1, 1. So basically you will start from this point and you will go up. It's not there. In the diagram it's not there. So you will go up. Then 1 will again you will come down. Again for 1 you will come down. But again after that you have to take 2 zeros. Add 2 extra zeros. Based on that the tree will get updated. So one thing you might observe from this becomes a little tedious in a way to find out that what particular state I am in, which particular output we should have, because it becomes too cumbersome after a certain period of time. That is why the most important and the more easier option that people have thought of, and that is what we call as code trellis. So let us go ahead with the code trellis diagram directly. So let's discuss on code trellis. This is more of the conventional or the more interesting one. So code trellis, for small bit of data set, code tree is still okay. But when you have a longer set of data, the code tree is a very cumbersome process to locate each and every element. So that's where the code trellis comes in, and it is given, it's a more compact representation of the code tree itself. So let's see how it is compact and now. First, before going to that, I'll write a table, and first we'll explain the table, and then we'll go for the code trellis. Let's see. So the tabulation, and we are doing it for the same example. x1 equal to m1 plus m2, x2 is equal to m plus m2. These are the two generic equations. So please note down this table. This is a very important one. This is again a state table, but we'll go ahead with something like this. So this is my m1 and this is my m2. Please stop me if anywhere you are not able to understand, because this is very crucial. m1 and m2, and let us put this way, x1 is equal to m plus m1 plus m2. So this is my generic equation. X of 2 is m1 I think, or m2. I think it was m2. So this is what, and finally the table is giving us something called as state. I'll go one by one so that you are able to understand. This first of the block on the table is nothing but the input or M. So these are the component to the encoder circuit that we are looking at, right? Now, what we are going to do is, first of all, we will put M1 and M2 as 0 when there is no input. When there is no input, M1 and M2 contains are 0 naturally, and your X1 and X2 doesn't exist. So we will have something of this as a preliminary of the initial state of the table. Okay. Now we will go one by one. Let's have a sequence S0 where the elements have come as 0 and 1. So we will put this way. What happens to the register content and the output state when a message 0 comes in? So your content will be something like this: 0, 0. So forget about the 1 for the time being. So you have input as 0, you have M1, M2 as 0. So what will be my X1? 0. Because M plus M1 plus M2, so it will be 0. X2 will be M plus M2, which is again 0. So 0. Please check from the previous day's example, 0, 0 corresponds to which state? A. So please note down here as state A. I'll go slowly, but this is the fundamental to any video bit decoding, in fact, which will come after this. Now, suppose given the fact that 0, 0 was the state and 1 has come in. So what will it be the state? So this is I am doing. So 0, 0 is the initial state. Suppose this is the other condition. Because ideally input can be 0 or 1. So the first element or the first entry indicates that the entry was 0. So what will be the corresponding state? Now entry becomes 1. So what will be the corresponding state? So 1 plus 0 plus 0. So your x1 becomes 1. What will be the x2? 1. What is the state? What is the state given? D. Is it D? Okay. Good. Now we will repeat this for the next sequence. Again, the state, so M1, M2 can have 0, 1, 1, 0 or 1, 1. These are the possible state it can have. So the second state, suppose we take as 1, 0 and 1, 0. Suppose these are the state of M1, M2, and at that point the first element comes in is as 0. What we are trying to do? We are consolidating all the possible inputs and output combinations. Nothing more than that. So what if we are doing it? 1, 0 is the present state. For example, suppose this one doesn't exist. The second line. So 0 comes in. So 0 plus 1 plus 0. So what will be your x1? 1. What will be your x2? 0. So 1, 0, if I go back, 1, 0, if I go back to the state table, if I just open the state table for me. Yes. So when it is a 1, 0 and we are looking at here, 1, 0, so what will be the state? It will be C, correct. So it will be C. Now in the same manner, 1, 0, but input comes in as 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 0. What will be x1? 0. What will be x2? 1. What is 0, 1? B. So this is the second of the sequence. Now sequence number 3 comes in. Again, I will write 0, 1. The next step that we are taking is 0, 1, 0, 1. Supposing that M1 in M2 has the sequence 0, 1 and 0, 1. So when 0 comes in with 0, 1 as the previous content of M1, M2. So your x1 becomes 0 plus 0 plus 1. So 1. And your x2 becomes 0 plus 1, which is 1. 1, 1 becomes D as a state. So the state that we can write is D. Fine. Similarly, is there any doubt? Is there any doubt till this point? Okay. Now 1, 0, 1, can you tell me the state and the output, corresponding output? 1 plus 0 plus 1. x1 will be 0, 0. What is 0, 0? A. Good. So last sequence that is present, which will have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. So these are the last possible. M1, M2 can only have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. These are the only possible combinations. So we have taken all the combinations with respect to inputs being zeros or 1. So if I take this, so what will be the corresponding output if you tell me? x1, 0 plus 1 plus 1. 0 plus 1 plus 1? 0. 0 plus 1. Corresponding output? B. B. 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1. 1 plus 1. 0. What will be the corresponding output? C. So you can see we have formed all the possible combinations that is present with respect to this table. Is there any doubt with the table formation? Because suppose you are given a different possible combination. So basically this is indicating your output. If you can closely watch this, this is basically the output, because this is x1 and x2, and this is the possible state that you are in. So how you have defined the state table and how you have defined the connection will definitely change the way the table looks like. Right? Now coming to the code trellis part, how we are doing it or how we are developing it. So what I'll do is I'll open another new file. Maybe it will be easier for me to do, because I need this tabulation somewhere. The tabulation or the tabulation will keep it this way. So how the code trellis looks like? It is a combination of all this possible state and will go on creating one after the other. How? For example, suppose we are at A. We are at state A. So there are 4 states, A, B, C, D. But initially whatever happens, it will start from A itself. So suppose it is at A. What are the possible state it might go to based on your state table? So this is your A state 0, 0. So it can either go to it can stay either at state A or it can go to state B, state D. This is what it can do. So I can write this way, that it can either go and stay at, suppose I write this as A0. So A1 can be one of the state, and the other state it might go to. Okay. Here there is a trick. I'll just okay. This is very interesting. I'll put blue color over here. When it is at state A and it is reaching at that state, it is remaining at that state, what is the input? 0. So let us define this way. Blue color arrow will indicate that we are staying at 0 location, like when the input is 0. That means I'll mark this way A to A1, which indicates that a 0 has come in. Whereas at the same manner, if 1 comes in, 0, 0 is giving us B as another input. So what we are going to do is, we'll use some kind of a black. So these are the 2 possible combinations based on the state table that we are achieving at this point of time. Am I clear? Now, we will have to go on doing this for each and every state as we go along. Meaning, we are at this position A1. Now, what are the possible combinations it has? It has only have 2. Either it will stay at A or it will go to D. So, what we are going to do is, so this might be our A2, this might be our A3, this might be our A4, this might be A5, and it will go on. On the other hand, if this is D, so A should give some value of D2. This might come to something like a D3, D3, D4, maybe I'll just put this way. Not the arrow, like this. So A4, D4, this is D5, like that it will go on. Okay. Now, with respect to the second branch, that is D, what are the possible combinations? So if I go back to the diagram, D was given by 1, 1. Okay. So D was given by 1, 1. So 1, 1, if it is, it can either go to B or it can go to C. Check there at the last. If it is at 1, 1, now if 0 comes in, it can go to state of B, and if 1 comes in, it will go to state of C. So, we have not defined C and D, so we have to define something over here. So maybe I'll put C over here, C2 or maybe B2, something like this. Because after this second step only these two cease to exist. Before that there is no chance. So what we are going to do is, based on this just alignment point wise, we will just put some values over here, just dotted lines. Okay, some dotted lines. This should be somewhere here actually. Let me just put this a little clearer. So A4, D4, A1, D2, A2, D3, A3, A4. This will be somewhere here. Somewhere here. Actually, this should be again a black one. This is where it should be. D5, like that it will go on. Now, as far as our table is concerned, D1, when 0 comes in, 0 means blue color. So maybe I'll take blue color, and it can go to which state? It can go to B. Okay. So, it can only go to B. Ideally can go to B. It can go to B, and so long, like this. So blue color is indicating the location in which the state is moving with respect to when 0 comes in. At the same point, if 1 comes in, the state is C. So I'll use the black color. It will come over here. It will come somewhere over here. It will come somewhere over here. Did you get it what I am asking? Based on this, you have to go through. For example, now after this point, you can see A1 and D2 is done. A, D is done. Now we are left with B and C. Can you check what are the state it can go to? If I go back to the table, so C is 1, 0 is my state. 1, 0 is given by state of C. So from 1, 0, if 0 comes in, it will stay at C. Whereas for 1, 0, if 1 comes in, it is going to B. So it is at C. So let us take blue color. So it's indicating the 0. So from C, it can only be remaining at C. So what we can do? Something maybe like this. The horizontal line is indicating C3, C4, C5, like that it will go on. And based on this also, with respect to 1, it will stay at B. So maybe what I will do is, it will come here, it will come here, it will come here, it will come here. Please check what I did. For each and every state, we are trying to draw the code tree basically, but in a more compact fashion. We are taking into account all the state, the possible inputs that have influenced that particular state, and based on that, we are just moving in one by one. You will soon find what I am trying to achieve. So the last one which are left is B. For B, it was when 0, the state becomes D. So, at B, B starts from here. So, when B, the next state can be For B, oh, this one. For B, the next step can be D. So, the next step can be D. D is somewhere here. So, D, like this. And it will go on. Similarly, for 1 and B, for B state and 1 coming in, the state is A. So, your A is somewhere over here. So, please check that we are not going back. We are only forwarding it. When we are starting with B2, we are not going back connecting to A1. Only the forward direction in which we are looking at. So, similarly, suppose this is my B4. So, it will be connected to B5. Am I clear with this? I think it will be a little confusing. So, what I am trying to do is, we have first defined what is the state for the given circuit. Based on that, we are assuming that there is one bit which is coming and 2 registers are there which is changing their state. So, based on that, when we have defined this state table, we have observed what happens when the M1 and M2 content is something and 0 or 1 comes in. And we have defined accordingly what are the state and the respective output with respect to the inputs given. Now we are trying to draw a diagram based on the information that we have, and we are attending something of this nature. This is also a code tree, but in a more compact manner, because suppose, can you write all the node, the branch weight? What will be the branch weight? Branch weight will be nothing but the output. For example, from A state, suppose this is my A state. So when at A state and it's remaining at A state, what is the corresponding output? 0, 0. So your branch weight will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and go on. So branch weight is nothing but the respective output when the transition is happening from one branch or one state to next state. Am I clear with this? Okay. Next is, suppose I am at A. Okay, I am at A, and my new state becomes D. The RS corresponding output that we are observing is 1, 1. So, wherever we are observing A to D, it should be 1, 1, A to D, 1, 1, A to D, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, like this. Got it? Now, for the same way, D, B and C, the respective 2 nodes or the respective 3 nodes will have 6 odd connections. So, you have to put the branch weight for each and every connection. Okay. So, just to give you a fact on this. So, suppose D, I take D. So, when it is at D, the next state is B. When the connection is coming to B, the corresponding output is calculated as 0, 1. So, D to B is this line. So, corresponding output is 0, 1. So, you will write 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. I know it's a bit difficult in a way, but if you practice for once, it will be not that difficult. Similarly, the other connection from D is coming to C. So, let's see what is the output. So, when this is D and the next state is C, the corresponding output is 1, 0. So, you will write 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0 to all the connections which starts from D and ends at C. Similarly, for C and B, you will get such connections and you will form a long process or a cumulative description of all the 3 connections. Now, why it is useful? Why we are doing such a laborious job? The thing is, suppose a message being transferred is given by 10111. Suppose a message is being transferred as 10111 or any given sequence. This is only a part of it because we have not drawn the complete trellis. So suppose 10111 comes in. See how easily we can trace. Suppose I take the red color. So I'll start from this point. Now we have already defined the blue as the the blue arrow or the lines are indicating 0 and the black one is indicating 1. So simply without losing any information, what we can do is we will traverse this way. From 0 we'll follow the black line because black is indicating 1 and our input is also 1. Okay. Now we are at position D1. Now 0 comes in. 0 means blue color. So wherever the blue color will take me, I will go this way. Now we are at B2. This B2, B1, these are all names. Just for our reference. It's not needed. Now we are at B2. So we are at this position. Now 1 comes in. 1 means black color. So I'll just write over here. Black color indicates, this one indicates 1. And blue color indicates 0. It can be anything from your side. So whenever you are drawing in your paper, make one as pen, the other one can be a pencil. Simple as that. 1 and 0 is what we are playing with. So we are at this position. Now 1 comes in. 1 means black color. Wherever the black color will take me. So I'll go this way. I reach somewhere A3. Okay? Now we are at A3. Now the next bit comes in is 1. Black color. Wherever the black color takes me. So black color takes me to D4. Now again another 1 comes in. This is a random value we have taken. So another suppose 1 comes in. So from D4, wherever the black color goes, it's reaching somewhere at C5. So now you just concentrate on the red. If I just make it a bit bold maybe, or I'll do one thing. Oh God. I'll just mark the path that we are traversing. Is it clear? So now you check the corresponding output that you have because the branch weight is already given. So my corresponding output for this will be nothing but the branch weight which corresponds to this red. So my branch weight is given by 1 1 over here because this is 1 1. This line represents 0 1. So our output is 0 1. It goes in this line. This line is corresponding to 1 0 I guess, or this is B2. Okay, I think I have not done. B2A. What is the node weight? You just check from the table. 0 0 is it? B is, this one was B, right? 0 1 is B. So it is going to A. So when it is going to A, the output is 0 0. That's correct. So this one is corresponding to 0 0. So maybe we will write this as 0 0. So this is representing 1. This is 0 0. This is this one. Now it has traversed from A3 to D4. This is 1 1. So this is 1 1. And for this, again it has come from D4 to C5 and the corresponding weight is 1 0. So your output is 1 0. So basically using this technique in a consolidated manner, still it is not finished. Its a portion is still left. But at least for the encoding part, what we can do is, we can form a tabulation of this nature and we can find a code trellis. This is what we called as the code trellis. Code trellis. Code trellis is very similar to code tree except that it is a compact representation of all the state. if you can closely resemble, you just go back to today and you can try using the same technique, you can find out that we actually in a consolidated manner, we are including all the state and the corresponding output that it can have. So it's very easy to track this path and you can find out what will be the corresponding output to it. Clear? So this is what the encoding or the code trellis is all about. We will come back and we will discuss this code trellis in a much detailed way, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, when we are discussing with the Viterbi decoding. Because when we are doing the Viterbi, there should be some kind of a decoding process. So given this 110100 or 1110, you have to trace back from right to left. In this case, encoding, we are going from left to right. Please note down this. For encoding, the tracing should be from left to right. Whereas for decoding, it should start from right and end to left. So this is we'll do the decoding. The decoding is with respect to Viterbi, but for the Viterbi decoding, the code trellis concept is to be known, to be understood. So that's what I thought of doing it today, so that the encoding is at least known to you. Last but not the least, we'll finish off on that note. There is another set of diagram that can be used in terms of performance attribute or to guess the data set, and that is called as state diagram. So please note down this. This is called as state diagram. We'll end up on this. So this is another one, state diagram. I think this is pretty much known to you from different set of state diagram. I think in data structures also, I think you have done the state diagram. So if we combine the current and the, so this is what it says, the current and the next state, we obtain the state diagram. So, just for our reference, what we are going to do is, so given the fact there are 4 states, so A, we have A, maybe we will write B over here, we will write C over here, we will have D over here. So these are the 4 states possible in this case and in most of the cases in fact. Please check what are the state it might be happening or what are the state it is presently occupying and what can be the next state by based on zeros and 1. For example, what I will do is red color indicates zeros and black color indicates 1. So whenever the input is 1, what will be the state? Whenever the input is 0, what will be the state? So the state table, if you have this state table with you, so 0, 0 is the state. It is remaining at A when 0 comes in. Please check this thing out. This is the state table given for the time being. So when 0, 0 it is at state. So it is at state A. 0 comes in. The input is remaining at A. So basically you can draw. So 0 is this. So there can be a self loop of this nature and we can indicate the state as 0. Clear? This is a state diagram. We are only defining the state of the present and the future. Now, let us have, since I have selected the red color, so let us do it for all the nodes. So what is the state of B or the next state of B when 0 comes in? Can you tell me? B is this. It is at 0, 1. 0 comes in. So your state is becoming 1, 1 or D. So your state diagram will indicate something like D, and the respective output you can write as 1, 1 over here. What is the corresponding for D? If it is at D, so it is at this point, 0, 0 comes in. The next state that it goes is B and the value is 0, 1. So from this it goes to maybe this and 0, 1 is the corresponding output. Now the last one which is left is C. So C is at 0, 1. Okay. Is it C or no, this one 1, 0 I think. 1, 0 was C I think. Or 0, 1 is the C. 1, 0 was C? Yes. So if 1, 0 is C then 0 comes in, so the state remains as C. I think there is some calculation mistake over here. So ideally there is a self loop that is happening. Whatever it is, given the fact it can change a lot. So basically for zeros are like this. Similarly for 1 you will get the connection from A to B or A to D like that. For example, when 0, 0 state or A state is there, 1 comes in, the next state is D. So for the black color, the node will be something of this nature. Similarly for all the nodes you will get one after the another the state diagram. So this is what we call as the state diagram, where we are consolidating all the state that is possible, and eventually also this is a compact representation, but the decoding process requires the code trellis. That's why we are doing the code trellis separately. But this state diagram also can give you the understanding that what will be the state diagram. Suppose it is asked what is the state diagram given a message 10111. So 10111, it will start from A. So you have to trace for 1. Suppose this is your tracing path 1. Then from B, what happens to the next state when the input is 0? So you have to trace at B. So because this is already been done, so you go to B. Then what happens when the input is 1? So you have to take for 1. So like that you will go on changing the values and you can get the corresponding inputted output. It's the same manner like we did for the trellis. So these are the possible output parameters that will give you an understanding on the output or the encoded output. With respect to decoding, the encoding is done. The decoding part will require the code trellis to be known. From that we will go on selecting what has been the input message. But we will trace it from right to left. That's the only thing. Okay. So we will stop this point and we will continue further with this. Tomorrow's class also is very important. Please come to tomorrow's class. We will continue from this one.